Jay Monchin sending us a 3 terabyte build running Launchbox, Retrobat, and Playnite. This thing is fully loaded. It comes with everything from AAA PC games to Nintendo Switch, as far as consoles, PlayStation, all the PlayStations, and then all the way down to Atari and more. There's some little interesting things about it, and we're going to talk about all those in this video here. But as far as an inexpensive hard drive that you just buy it, you plug it into your computer, and you can be gaming with. I think it boasts like over 17,000 games. Is pretty ridiculous. So as you see here, you know, there's the Nintendo Switch collection, and it has everything for Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Sony, all that good stuff. So we'll start off showing you the AAA games, and there's a little different selection here, and then we'll go into Launchbox, which has most of your games, and then we'll get into Retrobat, which has even more games. And for some reason, you know, you have to use all 3 front ends. There's not one that has all the games. And so getting started here is Playnite. And so these are all PC-based games. You got Cuphead, you've got Grand Theft Auto, you've got Hunting 2, as you see on the screen here. All these games work except the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had to change the path. There was a little broken thing on it, and then I changed the path, and then it started working again. There was no issues, and so you just select the games, you can load them, and as you see here, no big AAA games there like the new like you know, Titanfall or Crysis or, you know, some bigger Halo, things like that. So they are more indie games, things like that. If you watch my channel, there's other builds that have different games on them, so that gives you a little idea. So here we are in Launchbox. We were in Big Box before, as far as the beginning of the video, and then on the left side you can see all the different platforms. And something to note is this is not all the consoles. For some, you know, reason, the way this 3 terabyte hard drive is set up, and I'll show you how it's set up shortly, you have Launchbox and Retrobat. And so Launchbox does have quite a bit of consoles, but for example, what you don't see is it does have, I think there's Dreamcast, there's also Naomi, there's MAME, so your arcade games like your Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and your NBA Jam and stuff like that. And then also like your Atari systems, things like that. They're not on this list here where they are in Retrobat. So this is not all the consoles, and this is also not all the games either. Okay, so they do have Dreamcast here. But you're going to see when I go to Retrobat in a little bit that the game collections are a little different. So I know it's weird, but I made sure to capture all that on video. So for the next few minutes on this video, it'll just be showing off the games. I'll be sliding, you know, slightly, you know, scrolling so you can see all the games, except if the system is like Amstrad or an older computer-based system that just has like thousands of games. I'm not going to go through all of those, but on any of the newer systems and consoles, I'm definitely going to show you all the different games that are included so you can see. Okay, we're now in Retrobat, and so Retrobat, you can see here I'm just showing off the MAME games to get started. And if you want, you can always jump to a particular letter. As you'll see here, I just hit select on your controller, and it does that. It is running Retrobat, so you can hit start or select on your controller at any point in time when you're in the menu system. And you can change settings, you can change shaders, you can change controls, you can add a controller, you can remove a controller, you can add Bluetooth. You can edit the metadata, you can change the theme. There's so much you could do in here, and it's fairly user-friendly. So here I'm just, you know, making sure they have Pokemon games. So all the Pokemons, all the Marios, everything is here. And like I said earlier in the video, if you missed it, I found that there's some games on Retrobat that aren't on Launchbox, and then there's some Launchbox titles that aren't, or the games within Launchbox that aren't on Retrobat. So unfortunately, you do have to go back and forth between those two front ends, Launchbox and Retrobat. They're both included, but some have certain games, some have certain games on there as well. And so that's just one of the little weird things that you'll deal with there. You also notice like Dreamcast, for example, or I'm sorry, GameCube. I think the way I was looking at it, it has more games on Retrobat than are on Launchbox. So Launchbox isn't showing all the GameCube games that are actually on the system. Where here in Retrobat, where we are now in the video, you'll see that there's actually more games there. Same with they add a Naomi and a few other systems as well, and games. Is the hard drive itself. Should have power. Okay, you got power and you got a USB, and it even does come with a screwdriver here. Wow, a lot of ventilation on here. I like that. There's some ventilation there. And here we go. Power and USB 3.0. You got power button. Looks like there's an LED ring on there. Let's go ahead and slide it off. Looks like you're getting a 3 terabyte, 3,000 gigabyte hard drive, and Seagate, product of Thailand, and SB35 is the model. And that's kind of really dusty in here. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but okay. The hard drive definitely looks doesn't look brand new. I'll just say that. All right, so you do need to change your drive letters. So when you hook up this hard drive to your computer, you need to make sure you change the hard drive to Q. It's probably going to be set up as D or E by default. Make sure you change it to Q. And there's a video in the main directory on how to do that, or just Google how to change the hard drive. There are a few prerequisites you do need to install. I just showed you there. And then if you see here, you have shortcuts on the main directory here. You have the manual here that I'm opening, and then you have shortcuts. So you have a shortcut to Playnite if you want to play the AAA rated games. You have a shortcut to Retrobat. Remember, we just went through that not too long ago earlier in the video. And then you have a shortcut to Launchbox as well. So Launchbox, now as far as Launchbox Big Box, you have to pay for a license for that. It's a small fee. It's totally worth it because it just comes with the free version of Launchbox to get you started, which is cool. You should support Launchbox if you're going to be using it as a front end. So now we're getting into emulation performance. You'll notice it has the banners on the right and the left side, or the bezels, if you will, and it looks good, running great there. We're now moving to a PC game, Smurfs Racing. Reminded me a lot of Mario Kart. The controls are a little different. I do like that you get two items at a time instead of like Mario Kart. You only get one, right? That was kind of novel about it. And then it's got some cool power-ups. Got different items you can play with. And I guess you pick up like blueberries or tomatoes instead of coins. But again, as you see, running just fine. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it didn't run at first. All I had to do was go into the game. There's a Playnite directory, and then there's a folder called Games, all capitals. And I just had to say, to give it to the right directory, just say, hey, the game's over here on the hard drive, and then worked, and look, it works just fine. As far as running things, it really just has to do with your computer. You know, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, you know, are going to require a pretty decent computer, you know, especially for 3D based games. You think I'm going to lose here, huh? If you look at the video here, I was about to lose. And then for some reason, I just got really, look at this. Boom. You see that Hadouken right there? That's the start. And it's about to get real for Felicia over there. There she goes. Boom. So back to system requirements. You can play a lot of these games without much horsepower. Like this game right here, Ultimate Mario Kombat 3. Like you could play this on a $100 laptop, no problem. It'll run just fine. But when you are going to play some of those AAA games, things like that, you know, a little newer computer could help you out. So Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and then I found this. I played around with Retrobat, and they have a select a random game, and this game came up, and so it's like that car game. You've seen it before. Now that you're watching these, you know the car got roaded as Road or Outlaw, or the name is escaping me, but this is so much fun. This game's, I actually really recommend this game. It was really fun. I ended up playing for like an hour. But final thoughts on this build. Another 3 terabyte build for you. When you're looking at 5 terabyte hard drives, these hard drives coming out of China, you know, they're slightly different. There's going to be some variation as far as, you know, what games are included, especially with the AAA games, you know, what systems, what ROM sets. For the most part, you know, it's just a hard drive in a USB, in an external hard drive enclosure. It's a spinning hard drive. It's not an SSD, and you plug them in. The biggest, you know, if you watch my videos, everyone says, you know, these things are loaded with viruses. If you're really worried about that, you know, just get a computer without a Wi-Fi card. Don't plug it in, and you're good to go. You wouldn't have to worry about that. And so that's what I would recommend if you're concerned at all about that. Depending on where you're buying it from, AliExpress or from their website, it can take a little bit longer to get. You know, a lot of this stuff is going international, so keep that in mind. But as far as the pros and cons, I mean, the pro is, you know, you could barely get a hard drive cheaper than the cost of this hard drive. So, you know, pretty crazy, especially if you have like a bandwidth cap. You know, imagine having to download 3 terabytes, you know. I get the con being, you know, there's going to be duplicates, there's going to be games in languages that you'll never play, things like that. So, you know, there's definitely pros and cons there, but I could see why people, you know, say, you know, a lot of this is fluff, I don't need half this stuff, and then so maybe it's not for you. For others, you know, you're like, I don't mind it, and I don't have to download the rest of it, so I'm good to go. The biggest thing to me is also, you know, this thing is not that ironed out. You know, you would think that they would, you know, really optimize these things as far as, like, if you notice in Launchbox, there was some box art missing, or duplicate games from different regions. The game lists were kind of out of organization. You know, some games are over here, some were over there. The misspellings on them. There's a lot of little things like that, and that's kind of what we've come to live with these hard drives. But those are the pros and cons, really. You know, that's the biggest ones I see. So that's all I got for you. Let me know. That's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.